Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Sarah and I'm the style coach. I had some questions come through following the colour analysis I did a few weeks ago, and one of them was about olive skin tones. Are they warm or are they cool? And you know, how do you know? And I want to demonstrate what I'm talking about through the use of paints. I think that's the best way to explain it. So let's go ahead and do that. Before we get started, can I please ask you to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already? And if you'd like to give some super thanks, I'd be super grateful. Thanks very much. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is demonstrate what an olive tone is made up of in the skin. So when we look at the skin can often have some kind of almost a green-like colour about it. Some people might feel like they look a little bit more green in the winter when they lose their tan. Some people might, look a little bit olivey throughout the year. So I just want to demonstrate how that comes about. When we think about olive, it's green. So green is made up of blue and yellow. There are two primary colours. So if we're talking about blue undertones, let's take a little bit of blue. And by the way, this is a really kind of simplistic way of demonstrating this. Obviously the body's a lot more complex. Skin tones are more complex and undertones. But, to keep it simple and demonstrate this is the way I'm going to do it. So let's say someone has blue undertones, and then the appearance of their skin, particularly if they are in the, let's say, medium skin tone with an olive appearance, how that comes about is a little bit of yellowness in the skin tone itself. And that is not the undertone. These are two different things. So when we start to add a little bit of yellow into that blue, what we end up creating, and of course this is not an exact skin tone, we'd have to get a lot more complex and detailed into the colour, but we're doing this very, very simply. So as you can see, I've added some yellow here into the blue, and what that has created is a green. And of course we'd need to play around with colours to get a better skin tone effect. But this is literally what is happening when someone thinks they're olive skinned and they are thinking, oh, well then I must be warm. I've got these olive tones in my skin. That's not necessarily the case. You could have those blue undertones mixed with the yellow tone of a medium skin tone, which creates this kind of olive green of the skin. And you might say, okay, well, what if that person has warm undertones? In which case we'd be looking at yellow. So they have warm undertones and then a kind of a tanned skin, in which case they're not going to come up olive. So we're going to add in just a little bit of orange here. Okay. So that colour is simply just going to get warmer, and it's not going to have that green effect that we saw before. It's just going to have this lovely warmth to it. Without it kind of looking a little bit green. So the skin's just going to have this lovely orangey glow to it, a lovely warmth to it, rather than having this kind of a green tinge or an olive tinge to the skin. So although that was a super simplistic way of demonstrating olive skin tones, of course they're not going to be that green. It goes to show that if you've got olive tones, it doesn't mean that you've got this warmth about you. It could be that you've got cool undertones, blue, mixing that kind of maybe tanned skin, which often olive skin is, with the blue can create this olive look, which can be mistaken for warmth, but is often cool. That's it for today's video. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to, you can give some super thanks and I'd be super grateful. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you again next week. Take care.